the main goal of this course: to create and activate the assertive style of communication as your primary style of communication. The mindset and behaviors that make up the assertive style are considered to provide the most efficient management for both personal and professional life contexts. To communicate assertively means to express your thoughts, emotions, and wants in a direct, open, and authentic manner, and at the same time display consideration for the thoughts, emotions, and wants of others. You claim your rights and at the same time respect the rights of other people. In assertive relationships, boundaries are clearly set and respected. We know what is comfortable and acceptable to us and how to request that our limits be respected. Being assertive does not always get you the outcome you want, but it helps you stay focused on your significant and reasonable goals. When you are primarily assertive, you know that you are in control of your own life and that others have the right and skills to control their own lives as well. And you would never intend to modify that. Assertive people take responsibility for their actions, and they also understand the limit of this responsibility. They adapt easily to diverse social, personal, and professional environments because their empathy, listening skills, and mainly rational thinking patterns allow them to connect with others and develop healthy relationships. They can accept opinions that are different from theirs, knowing at the same time that they have the right not to agree with those opinions. They are also willing to change their opinions about things if presented with relevant data that support new conclusions. Assertive people take an active role in making the changes they want in their lives and do their best to accomplish their goals. The assertive style of communication is seen as related to high levels of self-esteem and confidence. That shows both in their inner and social dynamics. They can appreciate someone else's skills, while at the same time being aware of their own strengths and vulnerabilities. They accept and support diversity. Underlying thoughts and beliefs that are linked to the assertive style of communication include the following: I am deserving and so are others. Both myself and others are important. Depending on the context, we can all be leaders or followers. Assertive communication places authenticity, honesty, and openness at the core of successful communication. It is about openly saying what you think, feel, or want, making reasonable requests, refusing unreasonable ones, being able to give and receive constructive feedback, and also the ability to effectively deal with conflict and criticism. Assertive communicators take both their rights and the rights of others into account. The tone of their voice is balanced, calm, and conveys confidence. Conflict is not necessarily avoided, but it is managed in a constructive, objective way, without allowing it to escalate into violence. The visual contact is mainly direct, but in order to not make it seem confrontational, it will be interrupted by occasional horizontal eye movements. The assertive behavior is mainly represented by actions that are in agreement with one's opinions, beliefs, emotions, values, and goals, and do not infringe on the rights of others. They convey consideration for the opinions, beliefs, emotions, values, and goals of others. These actions are mainly oriented toward one's own goals, but they can be activated to support the goals of others as well. If the assertive person chooses to do so, then they are aware that that is a choice they make, not the result of manipulation or aggressiveness. The physical appearance and body posture of a primarily assertive person convey confidence, comfort, openness, and, most of all, are in accordance with the person's inner dynamic. There is a natural flow between what goes on in one's mind and emotional realm and what is socially displayed through verbal and nonverbal communication. Assertive people find it comfortable to display an authentic social image of themselves. They take responsibility for it and update it according to the changes that occur in their inner dynamic. They are also respectful of the physical space of others and make sure that their physical space is also respected. Emotionally, the assertive style of communication promotes and maintains a satisfying level of physical and psychological well-being. Because the inner dynamic is carefully analyzed, understood, and improved if needed, this also sets the basis for healthy and long-lasting social relationships. Assertive individuals have the cognitive and emotional skills to deal with stress, conflict, criticism, and inner conflicts in an effective way. They maintain good levels of self-esteem and confidence and successfully manage unpleasant emotions such as anxiety. Their sense of control and direction in life allows them to experience lower intensities of these negative emotions. Fewer situations in which they feel helpless or confused also lead to fewer emotions in the range of depression. Also, it is important to mention here that primarily assertive persons accept uncertainty in their lives. They understand that there are situations beyond our control, contexts that we cannot change, and in which we need to act in ways that limit unnecessary inner conflicts and associated negative effects upon ourselves and others. The main advantages of the assertive style of communication have been addressed in a previous lecture, but to those benefits, I will add here the following. The ability to be present in your life. We will take from the past what we need to grow, but let go of everything else so that it won't negatively interfere with our present or future. The ability to set realistic, reasonable goals, to make relevant plans, and to act in accordance with those plans. The ability to connect with others in an authentic, honest way that will help both individuals and relationships grow. Also, an advantage of the assertive style of communication is to boost and maintain self-esteem and confidence levels. The disadvantages of the assertive style are few, but we need to address them. As I mentioned in a previous lecture, there are contexts in which it is not recommended to use the assertive methods. Among them, violent relationships. I will repeat here that if you find yourself in a violent relationship, then you should not try to address it through methods such as the ones included in this course, and instead contact a professional who can help you create a valid and safe strategy to deal with that particular context. Using assertive strategies in violent contexts may trigger aggressive responses and severe consequences, so please make sure that you are safe and get the appropriate assistance to find the solutions for your particular situation. This being said, we also need to consider the fact that many of our daily interactions do not involve primarily assertive individuals. So we will interact with various types of people, and guess what? Not everyone is a fan of assertiveness. Assertive communication does not guarantee assertive responses from other individuals. It facilitates them, and you may be able to manage many of your interactions with difficult individuals through the assertive methods, but there are times when they can trigger resistance and even backlash. A primarily passive individual may see you as being too direct, disengaged, or even cold and selfish. This may be mainly because they think that one should not act in their own interest, that saying things openly may lead to social rejection, and that by doing that, you're basically one step closer to conflict. And as we've seen previously, they avoid conflict by not openly stating their opinions or wants. At the same time, aggressive persons may feel their sense of control threatened by assertive individuals who know and confidently claim their rights. This may sometimes cause backlash with the intention to re-establish the desired authority of the aggressive individual. Others may even see you as narcissistic and boastful, just because you can confidently talk about your strengths. And examples can go on, because it is not always easy to interact as an assertive individual who mainly resorts to critical thinking with primarily passive, aggressive, or irrational structures. But you need to keep in mind that although these interactions may not be pleasant and may trigger some frustration on your part, especially if you're just starting to learn how to be assertive, the reactions of others are not your responsibility, but theirs. You nonetheless have to deal with them assertively. Don't let them overwhelm you emotionally or manipulate you into activating aggressive patterns as well. These reactions barely have anything to do with you. They belong to the individuals displaying them. Your responsibility is not to infringe upon somebody else's rights, but it is not to make them happy or give them what they want. Beyond that, it's about them, their choices, their responsibilities. We need to be responsible of our actions and the delivery of our messages so that our intentions are visible and well understood. If we manage to adapt the message to our goals and the specific contexts and relationships, then the main factors of assertive interactions have been established. When you move toward a primarily assertive style of communication and behavior, you need to be ready to accept that some of your previous relationships may not survive the change. Assertive individuals break free from toxic relationships, and that may cause different levels of psychological and emotional discomfort in the initial stages. If you feel high levels of discomfort while going through these significant changes, then please seek the help of a professional to make the transition easier and to address any underlying psychological events that are active and play a role in that specific situation. This course can guide you to make most of the basic changes to create and activate a primarily assertive style of communication. But please assess carefully your individual situation. And if you think you need a more in-depth approach to address the difficulties you're going through, then consider one-on-one live counseling or psychotherapy sessions to help you deal with that context. Despite its occasional disadvantages, the assertive style of communication is the most efficient set of communication skills available to us that can help us regulate our inner dynamic as well as manage our personal and professional relationships. Do not feel intimidated. I imagine that at this point in the course, some of you may think that making all of these changes may be hard and you may even feel like quitting. That's a normal reaction. Changes, and especially significant changes, are not easy to accomplish, but the results are worth it. You deserve to be free in your thinking, your emotions, and your actions. You deserve to have healthy, long-lasting relationships and to accomplish your goals. You deserve to feel comfortable being you, and there's a way that can facilitate all of this. Whether you see yourself as primarily passive or aggressive at this point, now that you have the resources to make such an assessment, and want to create your main assertive skills from scratch, or if you think of yourself as a primarily assertive person who needs some guidance on how to activate and boost their assertive skills, then the following lectures can help you achieve these goals. Change is a step-by-step process, and the first one is to decide to begin. You've already made that step. I encourage you to continue and see what assertiveness has in store for you. Let your personal results guide your informed opinion about which style of communication and behavior best fits your inner structure and personal and professional goals. It's about personal experiences, and I encourage you not to deny yours. See you in the next lecture.